lovely ladies I've been working with this week. We have another day planned out for us. So we're heading to St. Augustine and we're going to see some historical sites there, some good architecture. Jesse, if you're watching, hi Jesse, drew me this map and we're going to go see some of these things like Lyon Air Museum, Casa Monica, there's a cathedral, and maybe spend some time at the beach. It goes. So I did a little bit of research on St. Augustine as we're on our way, and it was settled in 1565, and it's the longest lasting or oldest continually inhabited European settlement in this country. So I thought that was really cool, and I'm with a history buff, so I think that this will be a great destination for us. We're about 5 or 6 miles away, 7 miles away, and a little under 10 minutes, so I'm getting excited. Keeping an eye out for gators because I don't want to be anybody's snack. My sister reminded me about gators here and a little bit nervous now. This is cool. Lots of hammocks in the tree.
Arriving at Lyon Air Museum, on right.
I wonder what that one is. Oh, that's the Flagler College. Okay. So, wow, this place is really cool. Craft donut and coffee bar. The entire day in St. Augustine was absolutely gorgeous. There wasn't a single cloud in the sky for the entire time we were awake that day. And so I just kind of took you around and just got little clips of all the different, like, visually appealing aspects of the little city. It was so cute. So you could get married here if you want. I wonder if it's like Las Vegas and you don't need the thing ahead of time. And by thing, I meant marriage license. As opposed to Bill Clinton's throne, I guess. This is the other side of the Casa Monica. Even the Wells Fargo's cute here. Hospital and military. That's like you and me in one building. It's a pirate ship out there. We made it to St Augustine. Oh my goodness. Yeah, St Augustine Seawall. All trees. If you know me, you know I'm really spontaneous. So you can ask me to go anywhere, do anything at the drop of a hat, and unless I have a good reason that I can't, I'm gonna do it with you. My favorite example is Courtney, my friend. Hi, Courtney. Calling me up on a Monday. I think it was a Monday. Anyway, during the work week, and she asked me, and we both had early morning classes the next day, and she asked me, hey, I have these unlimited ride bracelets for Mall of America. You want to go right now? Absolutely I do. So I picked her up, we went, we rode rides, we screamed all night on the roller coasters, and got up nice and early the next morning and taught our classes. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, things like that. I'm all over the place with spontaneity. But when it comes to eating out, going to events, like, I plan. So even if we're at the mall and we're like, hey, want to eat there? I'll pull up on my phone, I look at the menu, I have pretty much a really good idea of what I'm going to order. And I have a hard time walking into something like that blindly. If you ask me to go out for coffee next month, within 5 minutes of the invitation, I pretty much know what I'm going to wear out to coffee. It's just how I am. So anyway, today, this day in St. Augustine, I decided I was just gonna walk into a restaurant and eat lunch. It's a big deal for me. I know it's not a big deal for a lot of people. So we picked one just based on the outside appearance and the fact that there wasn't a huge wait. And it was okay. It was okay. You'll see. Go to a lunch place or a restaurant without researching first, and maybe I should this one time. I wonder what it's like now though, because like so many So at this restaurant that I didn't look at the menu ahead of time or anything like that, we were seated right away, but they were seriously, I was in my final countdown of getting up and walking out because it took them forever to send somebody over. When somebody finally came, they were nice enough, fine, good service, whatever. The menu wasn't too broad. I ended up getting shrimp and cheesy grits, and Chandler got chicken tenders. I really was not impressed by this place, but Chandler really liked his chicken tenders. So anyway, it was a mixed bag, but they are really lucky because I was down to 15 seconds of my final countdown and I was about to leave. So, reflecting on that, I don't know, am I going to be able to eat at restaurants spontaneously from now on? I don't know. It wasn't a huge payoff this time. I don't know. If I were to give some feedback to this restaurant, I would tell them that their fries are not steak fries, and that really impacted the potential for enjoyment at this restaurant for me, because I do not like steak fries, and all of their sandwiches and burgers and everything said that they came with steak fries. That was a lie, because they were regular fries. So I had ordered my shrimp and grits. I don't know why that's so hard to say. And then the people next to us got their food, and I looked at their french fries and they looked delicious, but they weren't steak fries. So I had ruled out an entire portion of the menu because I didn't want to eat freaking steak fries, and then they come out in the regular fries. Well, Chandler was nice enough to throw on an order of regular fries for me, or steak fries as they call them. And so I still got to eat some fries. So really I ate shrimp and fries because the cheesy grits were a little lackluster.
Elemental chart. No, it's that deep, some kind of bacterial contamination because of salt running.
So we decided our big event of the day would be that we are going to go to the fort that's in St. Augustine. So it's Castillo de San Marcos. Yeah, I think so. I think it's San Marcos. We went to the fort and it was really cool. And I don't remember what year it was built, but we walked around. Chandler made friends with this park ranger because Chandler's lifelong dream is to be a park ranger. So he heard this guy talking about being a veteran and a former teacher, and Chandler's a veteran and he's currently a teacher. And anyway, they got talking about how maybe Chandler can be a park ranger someday. And again, it was just a fun, cool experience.
Because that was a big fire. That's a big fire.
Supports me. I am better looking than that was.
That's lovely. That's
Try it, but you'll see, this is what the average,
that side looks shorter to me.
so you would not be able to, a person as tall as we are would be considered abnormal because the average is 5'4", 5'6". Now, when the Spanish soldiers took Indian women, Temuco Indian, for the brides, which was sanctioned by the church, Temuco Indians of this area, the women were over 6 foot.
Huh?
And because women in their society did all the heavy lifting, heavy work, strong arms, strong back, strong legs.
All throughout the day as we walked through St. Augustine, as we went to the beach, people stopped Chandler and talked to him. Again, whatever. I mean, I should be used to it by now. But anyway, he had his Penn State hat on, and that just drew a lot of attention for him. So people stopped him on the street. People came up to him on the beach. The restaurant Caps on the Water was recommended to us, and I also wanted to make it to the beach. So on the way to Caps on the Water, we stopped at the beach and really just walked around. We saw the cutest little white crabs. We saw some people fishing. It's so much better than Costa Rica because you don't run the risk of dying. I waded into the water a tiny bit and it was kind of nice. So in Costa Rica, we've been to the beach several times in Costa Rica, but this one particular time we went, the undertow was so outrageous. I could easily see how people could die in the ocean, just get swept under in the undertow. And so this one didn't have an undertow. It was really nice. And I mentioned that it's better than Costa Rica because you're probably not going to die. I mean, you still could, but you don't have that undertow. And that is true. It's better than Costa Rica in that sense, but the one thing in Costa Rica that I would say that they have over this beach is we always go to a beach that's like a little harbor or bay, and then so you're sitting on the beach and all around you have trees and exotic birds, and oh, it's so gorgeous. So these fishing poles all the way back here are fishing out there. So we were told that we should get to caps on the water and sit outside for the sunset. So I looked up the time of the sunset, and for that day it was gonna be 7:34 p.m. And I don't like to be a nuisance, so I don't make things happen very often, like small things. Big things, I'm all about it. I probably force things too much. But anyway, little things like sitting outside during a sunset or taking a nice picture or whatever it is, I don't like to be a nuisance to the people I'm with, so I tend to not do those things for myself. But on this particular day, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna make that happen. So tried to time it just right to get to caps on the water, just in time to sit outside for sunset. And I figured that there'd be a wait, but when we got there, first of all, it took us longer to find parking than expected, and then I got there at 5:55, and I thought that would be good timing to sit down outside and see the sunset, because I figured we'd have to wait for a little while. Well, I was quoted an hour and a half to 2 hours if I waited outside, and I know how restaurants work. It's usually not quite that long, and then of course they try to talk me to sitting inside because everybody wants to sit outside, but I decided I'm gonna put my foot down and I'm gonna make this happen. So neither of us were very hungry, and there were comfy chairs to sit in, so we didn't mind waiting. We said we'd wait the hour and a half to 2 hours, and I figured, you know, I'm watching the sun go down and I'm like, oh, we're gonna miss it. But I had a decent view where we were, and we decided to wait it out. While we were waiting, one guy kept looking at Chandler, he was looking at his phone, looking up, looking at phone, looking up, and I'm like, you know, just watching him, I'm like, oh, what is the deal here? Finally, he came up to Chandler and said, oh, remember Chandler had the Penn State hat on. Hey man, I have the updates on my phone, so here's the updates, you know, and every once in a while he'd give updates. So that was pretty cool. So Chandler got to get the updates for the Penn State game because his phone wasn't loading it for some reason. And then a little bit later, this woman comes up to him. I don't think she knew I existed, but anyway, she came up to Chandler, and Chandler's legs crossed, and she's just patting him on his legs. She's dressed in Ohio gear, and she's like, hey, sorry, man. Sorry. And she rubs his leg, and she's so handsy. And I'm sitting there, like, I didn't care. I know they're talking about football, whatever. But I'm like, what do I do here? It's kind of a weird situation, but I just sat there and watched it played out, and she seemed nice enough. Right. So right at about 7 o'clock, we got our table. So it was an hour and 5 minutes instead of the hour and a half to 2 hours they were quoting, and the sun was on its way down for sure, but I think we got seated at a perfect time. So we sat and we enjoyed. I really liked my food. Chandler thought his was okay, and he probably would choose not to go back there. I would. I had a fun time. They could improve their lighting for after the sun goes down so you could still read your menu. But other than that, I thought it was good. Chandler thought the server was uppity, which she could have been. I didn't get that feeling, and I usually do get that feeling more than he does. So I don't know. Maybe she was uppity. Maybe she wasn't uppity. But anyway, I enjoyed the food. He thought his was okay, and I got the catch of the day. Yellow snapper, and I got it blackened, and it was good. So we ate, we drank, we finished up, we drove back to the Airbnb, and we really enjoyed our day in St. Augustine. Thanks to everyone who watches. If you did watch, please leave a comment so I know that you were here, especially any of the gals from Mayo in Jacksonville. I'd love to know that you came and watched my video. Bye.